Hello everyone, and welcome to a potential Q&A. If anyone is interested, then feel free to get involved. So there's been a lot of interesting rumours floating about over the last few days, such as things like Fabinho to Manchester United, Mahrez to Manchester City, Lichtsteiner to Lichtsteiner. Where's he? Lichtsteiner to Arsenal. That's been floating around. There's been loads of rumours at the moment. Obviously, earlier, Jack Ross went to Sunderland. That was confirmed. Put up my first ever Football Manager video, which was fantastic. Really enjoyed making that, and the next one or two will be out soon. We've also put down the Florin Adone signing from Brighton, and the predictions for the League 1 and 2 playoffs. The reaction to Ben Wilmot signing for Watford from Stevenage. So I put up a lot of different things today to so check those out if you haven't already after this stream. Then yesterday we had Maurizio Pochettino signing a new contract, Championship playoff preview, Champions League playoff final preview, Fred joining Manchester United. Then we had a list which was 5 of the worst clubs that have had the worst seasons, ranking every manager. That was yesterday. Emery. Oh, so that was 2 days ago. Emery was 2 days ago. Q&A live stream was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So there's been plenty of content going up at the minute. I've been trying to do as much as I possibly can ahead of the World Cup. If you are interested, I am now on 779 subscribers. So I am 11 away from, no, 21 away even from the 800 mark, which is fantastic. I have been doing it for around 3 months now, so that's really good. Looking forward to the football that is going on in the next few days. So you've got the Championship final on Saturday, and then we have the Champions League final on Saturday. On Sunday, we turn our attentions to League 1, and on Tuesday it is the League 2 final. So there's plenty of football on this weekend, on Bank Holiday Monday, until obviously Saturday till Bank Holiday Monday. Also, if you're interested in youth football, there's the Toulon tournament is starting. So England play China tomorrow in the Toulon tournament. There is also MLS. Scotland are in the Toulon tournament, as are Japan, Mexico, South Korea, Togo, Japan, Portugal. So that is something to keep an eye on. Next weekend, I think we have England versus Nigeria, which is fantastic. I will be covering that. Maybe cover Belgium versus Portugal on Saturday evening. And then next Sunday, there is several games. I might cover Brazil versus Croatia, and probably not Spain versus Switzerland, but I will probably be covering that. Wednesday the 6th, there's more football, Belgium versus Egypt, and the semi-final of the Toulon tournament. Thursday the 7th of June, England versus Costa Rica. I'll definitely be covering that. Friday the 8th of June, Germany versus Saudi Arabia. That might also be covered. The Toulon tournament final is on Saturday the 9th of June, which is something I may cover depending on how far England get. Sunday, there's nothing. The 11th of June is Belgium versus Costa Rica, which is important because that's the last sort of friendly game before the World Cup starts. And then the World Cup will start on the Thursday, the 14th of June, between Russia and Saudi Arabia. I will be covering that because it's the opening ceremony, and it's the opening, so I'll watch that. Egypt versus Uruguay on the 15th, Morocco versus Iran, and Portugal versus Spain is something that I definitely will be covering over the course of the next few days. Saturday the 16th is another huge day. France, Australia, Argentina versus Iceland, and Peru versus Denmark, as well as Croatia and Nigeria. So I'm not sure if I will be doing like every game, or maybe bunching them up into a couple of games or 3 games. But I really don't know how I'm going to play it out. But there is 3 games on the 17th, 3 games on the 18th, 3 games on the 19th, 3 games on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And then there's 4 games starting the week of the 25th. So how I would have to cover that is I'd have to choose one to watch. So we have Europe. It's the groups. So I will have to watch one, maybe have a look at some of the highlights and the goals, and then cover that. So that is when it gets a little easier. So Thursday the 28th of June is when the groups end, which is the final game for England against Belgium, and then the knockout starts on the Saturday the 30th of June. And they finish on the 3rd of July. 6th of July, we then have the quarterfinals over Friday the 6th of July and Saturday the 7th of July. And then the semi-final will be taking place Thursday the 10th of July and Tuesday, and Wednesday the 11th of July before the Saturday the 15th, the 3rd place playoff, and then Sunday the 15th of July, the World Cup final takes place, which is weird because usually it takes place at night, but this time it's taking place at 4 o'clock. So that is a little weird that it would be taking place at 4 o'clock. Usually it takes place during the evening. If you have any questions, just let me know. This is a Q&A live stream, so feel free to get involved. And then that's it. So it goes on around for just over a month. So it starts on the 14th of June, the World Cup, and ends on the 15th. No rest for the wicked. 15th of so the 15th it ends on the 20th of July. Club America take on Manchester United. That's a 3 o'clock in the morning kickoff. So I won't be watching any of those. The International Champions Cup's taking place as well, and that'll be on TV. So there's not really much football at the moment that looks present that will be going on in the next few weeks after the World Cup, but more games will be announced as time goes on. So we'll check out with the gossip while we're waiting for some questions. So Fred said, Both teams are after him, Manchester City and United, but it seems like Manchester City will be running out of that, and Manchester United will be the team in charge. So Emre Can is set to move to Juventus. It's meant to be signing in the next 10 days. The Sun reported that Manchester United are willing to put up 80 million to sign 27-year-old Brazilian Douglas Costa. Also still trying to sign Milinkovic-Savic. Manchester City are preparing a £52 million bid for Jorginho, which is already known about. Tottenham are interested in Ryan Sessegnon, Matthias de Ligt and Anthony Martial. And also they are keen on Wilfried Zaha once again from Crystal Palace. Victor Wanyama has ruled out a move away from Tottenham. Arsenal are interested in Pellegrini from Roma. Lyon are refusing to rule out a move that would see Nabil Fekir move away from the from Lyon. And we have our first question of the evening. Thank you. Wembley charging £10 for a programme at the Championship playoff final. Thoughts on that price? Too expensive for me, just like the tickets and parking. I have no idea how much it is to park at Wembley, as when I went there, I went on a bus because it's a bloody long way from where I live, as it probably is for you. £10 for a programme, that is an awful lot. It was £10 when I went for the FA Vase and FA Trophy final day. That was also £10, but that was for 2 games instead of 1. Thoughts on the ticket prices? It's far too high, and unfortunately there are people who are willing to pay that amount, and like I said, I don't know about the parking. I think if I was in that situation, I would still go. I would just try and get a ticket very high up, because it's a chance to see your club get to the Premier League. I don't think I'd want to miss that, but I wouldn't be very happy, particularly if you struggled for money and shit. You wouldn't be very happy with spending such a little amount, such a big amount on something that, at the same seat for a different game can cost like a different time. So it's weird, but it'll probably be a sellout, so they'll probably just do it. They said only come in car if you've pre-ordered parking. I mean, I'm not even sure how many tickets. I'm not sure how many parking spaces they have there. I know that there was a big coach car park, and I would imagine there would be loads and loads and loads and loads of parking spaces, but I suppose there would be a load of demand as well. I mean, Fulham isn't too far away from Wembley, is it? So it's not a million miles away, so there would be plenty of people driving from their homes to the stadium. I would imagine most people coming from Birmingham would either get the train or go on a supporters coach. but I guess a lot of people would be travelling down by car from. Obviously, there would still be people travelling down via car to the game from Villa and Birmingham, but I would say the majority of people travelling via car would be from Fulham. So therefore, there would be a lot of people. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Shrewsbury's ground, which is near me, but they have like a very small amount of parking spaces, and you have to have like a little pass to you have to like buy a season ticket, similar to how you buy a season ticket, but you buy it for the car parking space because there isn't many spaces at all. Where at Hereford, obviously, who I support, there's loads of car parking spaces. I don't think they'll ever, unless like nobody turned up, which wouldn't happen, because even the Checkatrade Trophy last season, loads of people turned up for Oxford versus Coventry. So I think Wembley is just such a big draw that thousands of people will always go, no matter what. Particularly in these like FA Cup finals, you'll have like the day trippers and stuff that support the likes of Manchester United, Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, that are willing to pay hundreds for their tickets, which is up to them. I mean, I haven't paid any. I think my ticket for the non-league finals day was around £25, which it wasn't too bad over the 2 games. I don't get the point of the Checkatrade Trophy, especially with the under-23 teams. I think I do see the point of it. It's a chance for a club to get to Wembley that probably doesn't have many chances of doing it. So it's a big competition for maybe like the average teams in each league. The under-23 teams have been in there for a couple of seasons now, and for whatever reason, the EFL have made it so if under the current format with the under-23 teams, it means that you get more money per win and per draw than you do, like a lot more money. So I would imagine the Premier League are probably giving them a bit of money towards it, and that is something that they think, oh well, we'll have to do it. It's not fair on the other teams. Luckily, none of them have got to Wembley yet. So it was Coventry and Oxford last year, and this season it was Lincoln and Shrewsbury, with Lincoln coming up on top. So none of them have gone very far in it, but they still do have them in there. Chelsea got to the semi-finals and lost to Lincoln. They got the furthest. That's the furthest any team have been. And Shrewsbury lost to Yeovil. So no team have been that close besides Chelsea. Chelsea lost on penalties, so I mean I'm not even sure how many people would even turn up if Chelsea got to the final. I mean, it could be any number. Like I literally have no idea because there's just no idea with these things. It could be 10,000 or 2,000 or 20,000, and there's no real way of telling. I think in time, particularly if 2 under-23 teams got to the final, I think the attendance would be really poor because of a lot of people boycotting already, and maybe I couldn't imagine they care too much about it all. They don't seem to care, or they would have got further. But it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's a bit like it would depend if they were playing on the first day. Of course it would. But I would imagine they would probably try to schedule it so it didn't conflict with that, so they would get as many people coming in as possible. It's one of those things. It's a bit like the FA Trophy and the FA Cup and pretty much every competition. At the start, there are teams that don't get many, and lots of people don't care about it. And as you progress, then loads of people care about it. So you'll see in the FA Cup small attendances at like the likes of Swansea had quite a poor attendance against Tottenham, but if they'd got to the final or something, they'd have sold out their area and completely sold that out and sold out at the semi-final at Wembley. So it's a bit similar to that. Once you get to the final, where everyone wants to go. I mean, our attendances grew in the FA Vase as well when we got there. So we took 21,000, which is a lot for our side. And we averaged around 3,500 in the FA Vase when we went there. So that was a massive. I mean, there's just a lot of random people turn up for these events. There's nothing more annoying. When I was younger, Hereford were in the FA Cup and we drew Cardiff City, and it was a sellout. And I'd been to virtually every home game that year, and I didn't end up getting a ticket, which was quite annoying. And the average attendance was like 2.8. And there's nothing more annoying than that. It's the equivalent of. I didn't have a season ticket back then. I did the year after and the following years, but I didn't that particular year, so I didn't watch us against Cardiff. This is going okay. Seems like we're having a few more watchers. It was a bit quiet at the beginning, but it seems to be picking up. I mean, I'm hoping to hit 1,000 around the World Cup, maybe during the World Cup. I don't mind when, but as long as I do at some point, it would be excellent for me to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm only 200 and something away. So, I say only, that is still an awful lot of people. And it is a lot of people to hit, but I've been growing at a decent rate, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get to that mark. Certainly before the start of the football season kicks off, which is around the 4th of August, I think, for Football League and non-league. Are you doing any World Cup videos? Of course I'm doing World Cup videos. I will be covering England extensively, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the other games. I'm not sure if I'm going to group them up together, so have two on the same video or do them separately. I really don't know with the group stages. There's so many games. I will probably cover a lot of it. I obviously can't cover all of it. I will miss games when I am at work, but I will try to cover as much as I possibly can. I will try to cover the major teams. I will do a video of the Russia versus Saudi Arabia game because that's obviously the opening game, and then I might do 1 or 2 videos a day, depending on how many games there are. It gets a little easier once it's the knockouts, so I can there'll only be like 1 or 2 games a day, so that would be easier to cover. And also the final games in the group stages, we'll be playing 2 teams at the same time, so that'll be easier to cover. If my predictions are true, we'll play Germany in the quarterfinals. God, if we get Germany at any point, we're out. I'd be happy. I'd be happy with the quarterfinals, to be fair. I started the FM version of it, and I lost to Belgium. But that's going to be interesting to see how far I can get with that team. Obviously, it's only simulated, so there is no reason why it means anything. But I'd be pretty happy with the quarterfinals, as long as we lose to somebody of decent stature. Like if we lose to, there'd be nothing more embarrassing than losing to a similar sized country, to Iceland in Euro 2016, or even could you imagine if we lost to Panama and Tunisia? That'd be awful. I don't mind going out at any stage as long as we're going out to a decent side. But I do think we'll be able to easily get through the group. It just depends how it's drawn. But I'm pretty sure we draw the people of Group G or H. So I'm pretty sure that group isn't too bad. I think this Colombia, Japan, Poland, Senegal. That's the group we were drawing. So I think any of those sides we would. Can't see your comment. That's it. So any of those sides besides Colombia, I think we'd have a chance. So we should get to the quarterfinal. That's what at least I'm expecting. Telegraph is a good way to predict. Do you mean the Telegraph newspaper? I assume you mean the Telegraph newspaper. I will do a prediction video maybe just before the World Cup. I don't know when I'll do it. Probably maybe a week or so before the World Cup. Obviously, I won't cover every single game, but probably do the teams who I think will get through to the out the groups, and then go from there and do predictions of the last 16 and then the quarterfinal, and then the semi-final, and of course the final. I think that's the best way to do it. So I can predict a little bit at a time, which is probably what I shall do. Yeah, Telegraph paper, need to create an account, but it's free. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I will definitely 100% check it out. Which, I mean, I will definitely check it out because I can have a look and then I could save it or something, so I could go back to it later and then see how I did. Just got a comment on one of my videos that I need to reply to. Out of interest, do you prefer would you prefer a bigger screen of like webcam, or do you prefer having the comments down the side? For me, it's a lot easier to have the comments down the side. I was just wondering what everyone else thought. You know, this is like I think it's the first time I've used this layout on the live stream. Originally, I used just the camera on the YouTube live stream selection, and then I moved to this, and now I've made a proper layout for it. So, I mean, I'm not really sure how it looks on, but it looks okay to me, which is a good thing, I guess. Nearly been going a half hour. That is not too bad at all. I have the MLB on in the background, so I can keep an eye on what is happening there. There is a report of Steven Lichtsteiner is out of contract with Juventus, and if you remember watching the game between Juventus and Tottenham, he came on and made a massive impact between the two, and basically won them. But he's 34. He's a Swiss international, and he's out of contract with Juventus this summer. He's a long-term target and would add experience and leadership to the squad. He has scored 14 goals since joining Lazio in 2001. He has won 7 Serie A titles. He's won a lot of silverware in that time, so he would be a very, very good signing for Arsenal. They seem to need a right back because there's Bellerin and then there's sort of no one else. I know they play Chambers. They play Chambers sometimes, but they do need another right back just to give him a bit of competition, really, Bellerin, because he doesn't seem to have any sort of competition whatsoever. And that is always a problem when it comes to performance. I always think that if you have no competition, your performance isn't going to be as good as it needs to be, because you will not be as worried about losing your place in the side, which is obviously a massive thing, because if you lose your place in the side, you're not playing, and that's obviously what you're there to do. So I do think they need another right back. They signed Kolasinac as well from Schalke last year, and he was also on a free transfer. So it's been rumoured that he won't have much to spend, Emery. So maybe he will be wheeling and dealing with the likes of loans, and as well as loans, he will also be doing lots of free transfers. There's several players available on free transfers, such as Chiellini, Fellaini, Yaya Toure. It's mainly older players who are getting on, but there are plenty out there, and maybe that's what he might need to do for now. All of those players are very experienced. I probably wouldn't sign Yaya, but I think that Liechtenstein would be a fantastic signing. I think, as would Chiellini, and probably I don't know about Fellaini. You would give him a different option, but there's nothing. He's a bit. I mean, I don't know. I'm surprised he hasn't signed a new deal with Manchester United. I can't see him getting any better than that, but he seems to be holding out for something. I really don't think he'll be there next season. I really think he has had it there. I think that they no longer want him as well, because of how they have been perceiving him as a player. Right, I've been on for about half hour, so I think I'm going to head off now. If anyone has any more questions, just let me know before I disappear. I have been on for around just over half an hour, 33 minutes. That's a good amount of time. I'm obviously new to this sort of thing, which is so I haven't really done many live streams before, and it's just to try and engage with my audience a little more than I already do. I already reply to pretty much every single comment that I get, so I do lots of interaction. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Subscribe if you are new. I am Mike, and I will see you soon.